Hi everyone, thanks for clicking in. I'm going to do a trailer review of The Re-Education of Molly Singer. I know the Film Threat guys had the director on. There was a lot of talk that this movie is a return to the glory days of raunchy comedies. I'm not sure which glory days they're referring to. The glory days of the 1970s with films like Animal House, Kentucky Fried Movie, and Meatballs. Spoiler alert, not a ton of raunch in those early movies, except for Kentucky Fried Movie. That movie's got some scenes. But they were among the ones who started it all, started the raunch genre, and they did a lot with a little. Or do they mean the glory days of the 1990s? With films like American Pie, There's Something About Mary, Old School, and Wedding Crashers. Okay, Old School and Wedding Crashers are early aughts, but great raunchy comedies are few and far between these days. And with woke fundamentalism running much of Hollywood, we're really going to be dependent on the indie world for anything of substance. So let's begin. I have a personal pet peeve, if you will, regarding trailers. I strongly believe that they should be under 2 minutes, or 2 minutes tops. There's some bleed over if there's extended title cards for the 15 production companies that are involved. But if the trailer proper is going over 2 minutes, 15 seconds, 2:25, 2:30, that's a bad sign. Very rarely have I seen a trailer that went over 2 minutes and the movie was any good. If they have a story and they know what it is, they can wet your beak and give you enough of a glimpse into that world in under 90 seconds. Then wrap it up.
It says wrap it up. Wrap that up, B.
This trailer runtime is like 2 minutes and 42 seconds, so I already have concerns. But I want to see a funny comedy, so prove me wrong.
Coming through! I'm here! What?
Pebblebrook is threatening to sue it for mishandling his case. What?
Your son is on line 1.
Sit down. Hey, my love, how's your first day going?
I'm coming home.
Honey, Steiners are not quitters, we're fighters.
I'm not a fighter, I'm a daily upper decker.
I don't even know what that means.
Okay, first 30 seconds throws a lot at you. I guess she dropped a case. Her boss obviously isn't happy. Boss's son dropping out of college. He's a daily upper decker. Now, is this a British Jeopardy category? Is this a TikTok thing? Maybe I'm showing my age, but I have no idea what that means.
I don't even know what that means.
I googled it thinking it was a toilet prank reference, a dirty upper decker or something I've heard reference to. Although I did infer that the other kids didn't like him. If you know what a daily upper decker is, please let me know in the comment section.
You went to undergrad at Barnett University. You were president of your sorority and popular with all the guys, right? I mean, yeah, look at you. My son is a really good kid, but he's a recluse. I would like to hire you to go back, take him under your wing.
You want to pay me to go back to Barnett?
Yeah.
Okay, next 15 seconds. Boss gonna make an offer our heroine protagonist can't refuse. Our hero is going to be paid to go back to school to take the boss's son under her wing. Can't be vague here. What's the goal? Now don't get me wrong, if the comedy is off the hook, whatever. I don't watch Jackie Chan movies for clever plotting. I watch to see what new and innovative ways he's gonna beat up bad guys with IKEA furniture. But there's usually some through line that at least gets across the story to me. The Blues Brothers, not exactly raunch, but crazy comedy. They're putting the band back together to save the farm. The orphanage. In most of these films, things don't work out either. Spoilers, Blues Brothers save the orphanage, but they end up going back to jail. Animal House, they go out in a blaze of glory, but their frat is kaput, kicked off campus, outlawed. So this doesn't have to be Hamlet. Strange brew? But you gotta give me something solid regarding the plot. Or there's a known comedic element involved to reassure that this is funny. Eddie Murphy, Jim Carrey, Robin Williams, Bill Murray.
Ollie! I'm getting paid to go back to college, and you're gonna come with me.
You know, I'm really sorry.
Get back to your station. My apologies. Juice boxes for everybody.
We have until homecoming to get this kid from zero to hero.
Well, how are you supposed to do that?
It's at this point that I'm really losing hope that this movie will be good. And more importantly, we're a full minute into the trailer and nothing's made me laugh yet. So we get a little more of the goal. Get him from zero to hero, whatever that means. And now we see more odd, inverted Hollywood morality. Her buddy slaps a guy who's walking up saying he's sorry. Is Paulie supposed to be the lovable, wacky, unfiltered buddy of our hero? Is this like fighting the power because it's a big white dude? But he's doing the same job as her buddy. He's not in a position of power. It's just an odd moment that I guess I'm supposed to think is funny because it's a big guy getting slapped. Which is kinda hack to begin with. Not that a slap can't be funny. but there's no context here, so it's just confusing. Obviously, she's here to ask her friend to join her on her quest. A coworker walks up and her buddy slaps him. So her buddy is a bully? It's kind of funny when it's a diminutive misanthrope, like Rocket in Guardians of the Galaxy, or Tanner in Bad News Bears, or Mooch, played by Jackie Earle Haley in Breaking Away, or Jackie Earle Haley in Losing It, or Jackie Earle Haley in The Watchmen. I'm a big Jackie Earle Haley fan. Or Chris Tucker in Friday, or Begbie in Trainspotting. Not a raunchy comedy per se, more a really funny raunchy story about heroin addiction. But Begbie wasn't lovable, to most. I mean, we all have our kinks. His mates were uneasy around him because, as they refer to him in the movie, he's a psycho. Traditionally in movies, toxic behavior like this was done by characters that were reviled. Aggressive bullies that were the villain. For some reason, it's cute now. I'd say her buddy is lucky his coworker didn't slap him back.
This is Polly, and I'm Molly. We're actually thinking about going to Stillwater. You should come with us. We could convince the girl to come with us.
Yeah, I was in the neighborhood and I just wanted to see. Oh! Get out of here, bro! Why do you want to help me so much?
We all deserve a second chance at a first impression.
Okay, next 15 minutes. 15 seconds. We get a Three's Company style walk-in gag, and by the Lords of Cobol, a wardrobe change montage. Ugh. They can't even stick to it in the trailer, it's so tired of a cliche. Okay, trying to wrap this up, I don't know what goes on with young people today, but one good thing about when I was in high school, at least from a visual perspective, you could tell who was who. You knew the jocks and the preps from the metalheads, from the punk rockers.
Sportos and motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads.
Terms differ from region to region, but there was a distinction between cliques. I can't tell who's who in this movie, or that clothing signifies any particular group. In this frame right here, this looks to me like Google employees at a party in Brooklyn, and they all look 30. And they're playing drinking games, but it doesn't seem like much happens in this movie. They're gonna do a booze Olympics? Could be fun, could have crazy games and challenges, but they show nothing but people slamming shots. Show me some of the inventive challenges that are in the movie. Some of the crazy tasks that our characters are gonna have to perform. Or did you not come up with any? Okay, it's the 2-minute mark. Usually trailers, especially if the movie's not very good, they stuff this part with a bunch of visual action, sight gags, car chases, explosions, what have you. Here they're doing a cast montage. And I'm sure they're good actors, but none of these people are a draw for me. None of them are a big enough name to open a movie. So there's over 30 seconds to go and I can't say that I'm hooked. Here's a problem, movie. I'm not invested in any of these characters. Again, if the comedy material is killer, then I don't have to be. But here we are. Boss's son, he's not coming across like McLovin in Superbad. Or Chris Makepeace in Meatballs. Or Chris Makepeace in My Bodyguard. Now that's a great movie. Or Tom Hulse in Animal House. These are characters who are in over their head. There's no way they're going to be up to the challenge, which makes their struggle real and compelling. How are they going to pull this off? This dude, Ty Simpkins, is a good actor, but not his fault, but he's woefully miscast. And they're not giving us anything to go on about who his character is, other than what his mom said about him. And the golden rule, show, don't tell. This is a visual medium. You have to show me. Well, you don't have to, but it's more effective that way. And if you don't show me, it seems like you haven't put the requisite effort into making a good movie. Summing up, show me why this kid needs help. I don't see it. And he looks like he's 27, by the way. And show me why I should care about our hero. She's a lawyer at a boutique law firm, and clearly she can botch an account of one of their most prestigious clients and not get fired. She's obviously somebody's cousin. This is all some upper class problems. And bear with me, I'm going to go on a semi-rant here, but this is important, I think, and is relative to why we don't get good comedies anymore. All the great comedies, at least in the modern era, like last 50 to 60 years, maybe not all, but most of them, had a class theme to them. Upper class versus the lower class, the working class, the rest of us. Now, a funny movie doesn't have to have class as its theme, but it helps. Meatballs, Camp Mohawk was the rich kid camp, and Camp North Star was where all the regular kids went. Animal House was the Bad News Bears of the frat houses, going up against the posh upper class frats. Caddyshack's tagline is literally, it's the snobs versus the slobs. This carries through most great comedies up until the early 2000s. And to me, Wedding Crashers is one of the last great class comedies. Fittingly, the upper class, portrayed by Christopher Walken as the U.S. Secretary of State. Our heroes, Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson, are from a lower class, but it's still a upper middle class. They run some mediation consultancy company in DC, posh offices, fairly swanky Georgetown digs. So we're beginning to see the actual lower/working class removed from the screen, culminating in the Hangover series, where we get upper-class bad boys go wild. Had its moments, but that franchise I felt kept getting put in the pantheon of great comedies when it was really just the best of a weak field. In 2005, I was in LA on a pitch trip, and I was talking to a lawyer who was starting his own business managing writers. And he said to me back then that the industry is becoming much more monolithic. They don't like letting in outsiders. And see the Troy Duffy case of one time when they did and it didn't work out well. They don't relate to them. It's 18 years on, and I think we're seeing the effects of that. Hollywood lacks people with real life experience that relates to most of us. It has become an echo chamber of upper class perspective. The proof is in the pudding. You've seen it in the movies. Judd Apatow started with Freaks and Geeks. Then like 15 years later, I'm watching This Is 40, and I don't relate to anybody in that movie. She owns her own boutique. He owns his own record label. What kind of rich kid fantasy is this? Living with incredible wealth for over a decade kinda kills your ability to relate to regular people.
Nice shots, huh?
The last 2 hours, I've lost my job, my apartment, my car, and my girlfriend.
You still have your health.
And I'm not against rich people. I'd love to be rich one day. Like, starting tomorrow. Please. But we use comedy to get through the tough times. Gallows humor is often very funny.
Now, we're not going to let a bunch of treacherous enemy killjoys ruin our Christmas.
But if you're not worried about rent, or having enough money for food or clothes, and you're not worried about your future, I'm not sure how a sharp comedy perspective is going to be honed from a comfy, cozy, worry-free existence. You don't need some funny to get you through the hard times. You don't have any. So kudos to the Film Threat guys for having the director of The Re-Education of Molly Singer on their show. And I'll check this one out when it streams, but I don't see anything here funny enough to get me to shell out actual cash. Thanks for clicking in. I'll see you in the next video.
Here we are, my man. All right, come to Papa. Toss that thing. Let's go. Thank you.